one has to wonder why we just didn't do this, why we weren't forced to do this quest when it was level appropriate, if you were just going to make me do it anyway.
Well, we got to find out about that guy's sister, I think. Right?
Yep, that's actually going to be this entire episode. I said before that the side quests are pretty lengthy. Like, they have multiple parts to them and, like a lot of dedicated cutscenes and everything like that. It's why I think there's not like a tremendously huge amount of them in the game, but the ones you get go deep.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Unfortunately, you're also like kind of forced to do them if you're just like, I just kind of want to go. I want to do like a casual playthrough of the regular storyline, like I was planning. So, what are you gonna do?
Yeah. So now we got to do the side quest when it's very low level. It's not a big deal, but kind of.
If anything, it's probably preferable considering the troubles that I've been having with The only thing is that it's like, man, we are literally facing the apocalypse right now, so it sort of feels like, can we hurry it up?
Yeah. Can we just
the scoot? Come on, let's scoot, guys.
Yeah. Let's just skip this side quest. Now.
I did say that for the Nora side quest where I was just like, I think that like thematically it would probably be better if I just kind of like skip this one, but it really as part of this is the critical path of the story, and I am pretty dedicated to trying to put that into the videos regardless.
I have a question in terms of the critical path of the game. So can you grind out levels before you like if you wanted to make this easy mode?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Like there are machines all over the place. Every time you kill a machine, you don't only get experience through like doing side quests or advancing the story or something like that. You can just go around and just kill the giant T-Rex Thundermaw things as much as you want until you get to level 90. I don't know what the maximum level is.
Okay, yeah. No,
but yeah, if you and frankly, I kind of did do that because I was going around doing like the corruption zones and everything like that. So yeah, I was probably a bit over leveled for most places, but I wouldn't say tremendously so. Because as we saw, like in the very first time that I left the Nora camp, that basically I just made a beeline right for Meridia.
Uh-huh. Now, can I make a critique that's not necessarily in this game, but just the...
No.
Oh, okay. So, here's what I'd like to say is I feel like it's really weird that you can grind out levels if you want to as sort of like a substitute for easy mode. Like, if you really want to, you could play the game on extreme underleveled or extreme overleveled. And I don't know, does that really, do you think that interrupts like a linear story if you can do that, or do you think that's just not a problem at all?
I think that they plan for it to be that way because, these games are, this game especially, or well, any game of this sort, it's just jam-packed with stuff.
Yeah.
And they don't, outside of the very beginning of the game where I was doing, right up until like the Proving Grounds and the first Corruptor fight and everything, it's like they don't stop you from going anywhere except for the very specific like dungeon-y type of areas that I've been in before.
Mm-hmm.
And besides, I don't know if getting levels makes too much of a difference aside from getting some skill points, which are more quality of life things than like actual overpowered like super moves or anything like that.
So it's not like an MMO.
Extra health.
So it's not like an MMO where if you're 10 levels under leveled, you might not even be able to play a quest. It's more like, okay, it's a little bit easier if you've got 20 extra levels, but it's not like trivially easy.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, you get a lot more health, but you can. The game is also built so that you can restore health very easily. Like it's even outside of the whole picking up medicinal herbs and everything, which I always feel like I never have enough. You can also, there's once again the Ghost of Tsushima thing where pressing triangle repositions it back onto your character rather than going to the. Okay. Anyway.
So
it's like the potions are also very cheap to buy, and the double potion thing is a full heal.
Okay, yeah. So,
and you can upgrade it to carry like 6 at once, and upgrading is not based on levels; it's based on supplies.
Okay, so really...
There's many ways to get more powerful in a game like this.
Yeah, okay. So I guess this is kind of a thing where, like, you do... It's not really a critique of the game to say that you really are supposed to play it like an MMO, basically. Like, obviously...
You're supposed to play it in whatever way you want to play the game. I mean, I would say that a lot of people that play many open world games like this probably don't even see the end of the main quest. Usually, more often than not, I always hear that that's like one of the weakest parts of the game.
Huh? Okay.
Which, I mean, as a true hardcore gamer who plays to win, I of course disagree with that sort of notion. But
so, are you talking? Is that a general thing you're saying about open world games, or are you talking about this game specifically?
I don't know about this game specifically. I mean, needless to say, I've kind of been beelining it towards the main plot. I don't think anybody... like that's a secret or something.
Yeah, we've discussed that, yeah. No.
But, it's like... So I really couldn't tell you.
I always find it weird, because for me, I'm somebody who...
right there, by the way.
I like to play...
See, I just full up on all the health potions now.
I'm someone who likes to finish games that I start. Even... Like to the point where like I'm always surprised at how few people like actually finish the game, unless it's ridiculously short, like a Flash game where it's like in an hour or something. Then you get like, okay, maybe 20% of people get to the ending. I'm thinking like Steam stats, but like a lot of times if it's a longer game, you'll have like 0.4% of people get to the ending, or not a lot of people.
Yeah, like 0.01% of people get to the true ending. Dead Cells, for example.
I would say, well...
That is a difficulty thing.
Yeah, in fairness, Dead Cells is definitely a difficulty thing. But, like, I'm thinking about, like, like games that are not difficult at all, that are story-based, where the, getting to the ending is presumably the whole point. Or like, puzzle games where getting to the ending is kind of a culmination. And it's a logical thing to do if you start it and enjoy it. It's kind of...
I'm a little bit curious about that. How many people actually got to the end of The Witness, for example?
I think that was a pretty small amount. Maybe not, but...
for example, end game, less than 20%. So... a decent amount still,
and that wasn't even the true, or not.
And that's just Steam statistics, which you can fudge real. But what else are we gonna go on here?
Yeah, and actually, Witness was a uniquely bad game because it only has the end game. I guess it's not a uniquely bad game, but it's like just kind of like that. That would be like you played it for 50 hours, at least.
That's a lot. I mean, I guess, to be fair, the games that I played on the channel that are puzzle games are like 50-hour plus puzzle games.
And in fairness, like, I think The Witness, it is, I think it's doable by somebody with a reasonable amount of intelligence and experience with puzzle games. It's not...
It's a game that also encourages you to outright look up solutions if you don't understand.
Yeah.
They literally have like a big video saying that.
Yeah.
If you don't understand something, just ask.
Yeah. But it is like if you want to do the thing where you don't look up anything, it is very, very difficult. I mean, and same with like...
And I know if you're a true gamer like I am...
Yeah. I'd never finish Baba Is You.
You will do that even to your own detriment.
Yeah.
Even to your own sleepless nights and exhaustion-filled, nonsensical commentary.
Yeah, this is great commentary, by the way. We set out to make this. This is going to be the best episode of the series, right?
Oh, absolutely. Every episode is the best episode of the series.
We need...
But, one of the things you're talking about with, like, levels, there are many ways that you can just get more improvements in this game, whether it's the way you can slot in stuff to each one of your weapons to, like, give it, extra fire damage, for example, which is a big thing on the bow that I've been using because that doesn't really require aiming.
Mm-hmm.
Or things like using resources to increase the amount of potions you can hold. Levels are just one of those many things. And that's just a very common thing in especially modern games here, where using levels is sort of like a carrot on a stick type of gameplay mechanic is just extremely common.
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of almost disagree with it because I think, like, the whole, oh man, well, you gotta kill everything.
Yeah.
is like, And similarly, oh, you gotta pick up all of the items on the ground. It's just like, you know, it sort of feels like a very gameplay-wise, it's very simple. Like, it's a very simple way to get like a little bit of extra gameplay stuff. Yeah. You got to pick up all the items so that you can do the crafting, and you got to kill all the enemies so that you can get the levels. And you know,
yeah. No.
It's just like okay, I see the little micro padding put in here and there.
Yeah, it's weird because like, yeah, it's kind of like it's the artifice of the game because it's not like I don't know if there's a term for this in theory of video games, but it's just like this stuff that really doesn't have anything to do with like the plot or the character or
even like the basic gameplay.
Even the gameplay.
You really think that like picking up stuff off the ground, just scrounging off every item that you possibly can is like a huge part of, well, not Dark Soulsing it, but this stealthy archer gameplay.
Yeah, and I mean really like I've seen videos about like people talking about like really uniquely satisfying or uniquely frustrating inventory systems to the point where some people have built games that are just you organize things in a warehouse or something, and it's like
Tetris. Or are you talking about a Sokoban?
It's more of a Sokoban thing, but
or are you just talking about Resident Evil 4?
First of all, Resident Evil 4 was,
everybody loves Resident Evil 4. I think it was like attache case.
I think it was Vox, their YouTube channel, had a video about like inventory systems. They mentioned Resident Evil 4. They singled it out. It's like, a lot of people really like that, and in fact, like, so what it was is basically people built like, warehouse management system, not even a Sokoban, but like even more abstract than that, like just the bureaucratic thing of like, okay, here's how you get to sort this garage, basically.
And here's the thing.
Nothing wrong with that.
I've seen a lot of people get really into Power Washing Simulator. That does not surprise me at all.
Yeah, but by the way, what do you think about all these games? I know this is a real tangent here, but like I always see like these Steam games where they're like, become a car mechanic simulator, computer builder simulator. What do you think about that stuff?
A lot of them are like really simple asset flip stuff that work off of the same basic engine.
Okay.
Some of them are kind of funny because like they're so cheap and bad. Some of them actually have a lot of work put into them, like Power Wash Simulator, which I think is created by people who are in fact passionate about the idea of a power wash simulator.
Yeah, because honestly, like now that you say that, like that does sound like fun. Like just you get to see it get real clean and nice and shiny. Yeah. Honestly,
it's not really something that appeals to me, but it's like I get it.
Like I've worked as like just doing occasional shifts, like temp shifts, like just cleaning stuff, and it's like it's hard work, but it is oddly satisfying to just clean things different ways.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, God knows. Like in the last month here, I finally cleaned up all of like my tax documents and old random mail that I've had sitting around my computer, and it's actually nice in here. Or like, I cleaned out my car recently too, and like actually wiped down the seats and everything, which had so much barbecue sauce and everything in there that would probably taste delicious if you tried to eat that.
Probably because of all the baby back ribs that you buy.
No, more like all the chicken wings, but
Yeah. Is that,
if only the place that I went to didn't have the roof start on fire, I would still continue to be getting those.
I was going to ask, have they fixed that?
Still haven't fixed it. I'm paying attention to it because I want to get my boneless wings, man.
Yeah, those are expensive though. I don't know why.
It's also very much not healthy to eat that much fried chicken, but come on, I haven't had that for months at this point.
Yeah, I got an air fryer,
which is probably not a bad thing. But you know what I'm
saying. Yeah, I got an air fryer, and I'm gonna try to cook some wings with like a minimum of oil and stuff. But on some level, I really do like that just huge protein kick of just getting like 2 pounds of meat. You know what I mean? Like at the same.
It is.
Like
and salt especially.
You know, like especially like chicken because it's such a lean meat. You ever just like have like a bunch of relatively lean chicken wings and then just take a nap and just wake up and it's like, everything.
Whatever you're saying, absolutely, I've already done that.
Everything is firing. Like I've got all the neurotransmitters that I need in I got all the proteins and hormones and amino acids and stuff. I'm feeling amazing. Like best sleep of my life is when I eat a ton of meat and just sleep for like 4 hours.
Oh, by the way, in the last episode when I was talking about like how people should have a better control over technology, I was thinking of stuff like this especially. Where it's like you got guys that are just like, yeah, actually using the wild machines around here as wild machines that do stuff. Now, anyway, back to Power Washing Simulator. Yeah, I mean, it's like, I don't know. I feel like I could enjoy a game like that, but it's just, like I said, yeah, it's a game. It's a sort of game that I get, but I also gotta say that I wouldn't look it out. I wouldn't look for it.
Yeah.
It's that same sort of thing with like dress-up games and whatnot, where if I play a game that lets you dress up your character or whatever, yes, I'm going to dress up my character, but I'm not looking for that.
Yeah, no. I mean, I remember like
I'm not gonna go load up custom-made 3D.
Are you somebody where if you've got like a really good custom character maker, you spend like hours in there? Because I totally will.
Go and watch my VODs of
Your king needs you.
why can't I remember the name of it?
Dark Souls?
No, the non-Dark Souls,
Bloodborne.
I will.
No, not Bloodborne. Well, I also did that in Bloodborne, but God, why can't I remember the name? Code Vein. There we go.
Code Vein. Okay, I don't think is that like similar.
I did I did that on stream, and I did extensive things where I just went and dressed up my pretty pink cat boy.
Yeah, no.
He had so many different looks to him. In fact, I could probably just go like pull some of that up right now if I could even remember where the hell I put that.
Okay, it's not like we're commentating on the game at this. This is just a podcast episode, I guess.
Oh, like every episode except for the last one.
His sister's dead or something.
Let me see. I know I have some pictures of it around.
By the way, we're not trying to be aggressively like bullshit in this, but oh wow, that is it's just kind of an organic conversation we're having here. Okay. Yeah, I am looking at some of those cat boys. Yeah, so anyway.
Look at my pretty pink-haired cat boys, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, like, I remember, like...
That's my VTuber avatar, everybody.
I love it when you can, like, shape their face, too. Like, you can, obviously it's like a slider.
Yeah, that was one thing that you couldn't do for a huge portion of that game, though, where it's just, like, as soon as you get, like, the character... Because I just took the default character, because that's usually what Fancy Dan is, but then the call of the cat boy came to me.
Yeah, no, I remember, like, Phantasy Star Universe, which was, like, an MMO that Sega made a fantasy... but, like, I remember I spent so long creating this, like, 2-foot tall, just, like, kind of impish character, I guess.
Okay.
Just...
I can believe it. I've seen the character creator for PSO.
It kind of reminds me of like I guess that like like those old animes like I think Astro Boy is that right? Something.
Yes. Astro Boy is like one of the OG anime.
Yeah. No, I think I made a character that was like kind of based on that, but just had this really uncanny blue hair and stuff, and it was really cool. I spent like 2 hours on that. And I remember it was funny because like I think it was
rookie numbers.
Like, well, that was just that one character. You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, like I remember, I think I was playing that with Luke, and they were like waiting for me to play. They were like waiting for me to play.
I know
them. You know what I mean? And like,
I know what you're saying.
And
like
people were waiting for me.
That's the whole thing. It's like I'm not even somebody to go play like The Sims or something all that much. But for some reason you give that to me and I'm like, I want to make a pretty cat boy.
Yeah, no, and like people were like waiting for me, and then when I showed them the character, they're like, what the hell is that?
If there's anything you
it was really it was kind of one of those uncanny kind of characters too. Just like it really just like I can still kind of remember what it looks like 15 years later.
Oh yeah, no question.
So I'm glad we've had a similar experience with character creators. What else?
Well, I mean, it's like that's not even the only game that I ever did that in. I did every single episode of Secrets of Grindia, for example. I tried to come up with a different character look. Like an entirely different character look. Like one of them was like, I don't know, like here's like a flower, gave her pink hair and like green clothes and stuff like that. Here's one where I dressed her up like a noir detective, where she has like a fedora and she uses like a
Yeah, it's weird because I guess to tie this all together, because we're 20 minutes into this episode, I don't think we've made a single coherent point. I think there's something to be said for.
I said that the reason I was talking about the advancement of technology is because people have been doing stuff with technology here. Whatever.
Okay. I guess that is, yeah, okay, fair enough.
Like they strung up like chicken heads and made them squawk at people, and that hurt their. Oh, also Aaron's daughter is still alive. Whatever, except then she died.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, we caught up.
To be honest, the only thing I guess I don't know if you would agree with this though, like where with games with like a significant, I guess, meta component where you're not. I don't mean like meta gaming, like competitive stuff. I just mean like where you have this extra stuff. Outside of the
leveling systems very. I would definitely consider that like a meta component.
Yeah, MMO kind of mechanics, I guess is what I would say. The MMO meta stuff where you're
because God knows that leveling systems do not exist in any realistic way in real life.
Yeah.
Like even in examples where you're like, but what about? Not quite the same thing. I can tell you that right now.
Well, yeah, and I would say in real life, instead of levels, it's usually more like
all compassion run.
It's usually more like limiting factors. Like you it's not so much that you level up your compassion as you run into situations where either your compassion becomes a barrier.
Even like if you go through grades in school, that doesn't necessarily mean quite the same thing.
Well, leveling up in terms of that is like, it doesn't mean, you don't actually like read at an 8th grade level or a 7th grade level. It's not like you linearly increase your comprehension. It's more like, you learn how to use a dictionary or something like that. Or you learn how to.
Anyway, what was the thing you were saying before I so rudely interrupted you?
What I mean is, I feel like, and I don't know if you would agree with this, because I'm definitely not as hardcore a gamer as you are, but I feel like we would both agree on
Nobody
this.
is.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like there's something we would both agree on is the reason we don't like these kinds of open world games is because it feels like they've got these. Like we would totally delve into like a character creator if that's all it was, and then have a fun time with a game above and beyond that. But the idea that you're integrating all this meta shit into the game in a way that's not very related to the character, the plot, or the aesthetics, it just feels like, okay, I'm grinding this out. I'm doing these.
There's just a lot of stuff to do for the sake of doing stuff.
Yeah. Like I feel like I don't like that at all. I would rather just have a really good linear plot or a complete open world thing where it's just completely open imagination. Like it feels like what they're doing is they're shoving, and this is not a criticism of this game specifically at all. It's just they're kind of shoving a linear plot into this open world, and you're kind of getting like, it's hard to get the best of both worlds because they're inherently competing in their motivations. Would you agree with that?
I would almost say that it is more of a personal preference sort of thing, where it's like if you're really into the idea of being able to be let out into a large world and then run around and do stuff, then that's a very different sort of thing. I mean, whereas like you and I think probably would prefer either Super Mario Brothers or I don't know, Kenshi.
I don't know what Kenshi is.
And it's like. Oh, Kenshi is like a super open world post-apocalyptic game where you create like your own group of mercenaries and just do whatever.
Yeah. Maybe that's the whole thing. Is it's this weird like half level of abstraction that doesn't appeal to me. It's like I feel like if you're gonna have to collect firewood, I feel as a collectible item, then I feel like you should also have to start the fires manually. Do you know what I mean? Like, you have to have, like, kind of the Noita thing where you just go all the way into the crafting.
I think you're right about that comparison in particular. The idea that the roguelike, the procedural generation is where it's at, right? When it comes to open world?
Yeah.
The idea that the world is not a set in stone sort of thing that you can explore 100%. It's just, you're here... You're doing it. Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of like if you're going to go for like, 50 levels that aren't that different, then why not just go for infinite using procedural generation or something? It just feels like, because if you're only going to do 50, then it's like, okay, well, I'm going to go to these landscapes that are almost all the same fundamentally. Like Ghost of Tsushima, like, you know, you're going to 50 places and they're all pretty much the same. There's a little bit of differences here and there. I mean, I'm not talking about the stuff where you go on like a ship or something, like where there's real differences, but like there's a lot of stuff where it's like it's a village and it's uphill versus slightly downhill. You know what I mean? Like, I'm
surrounded by a few more cliffs than usual.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing is that, you know, with a game like this, you can way more, I don't know, carefully curate kind of like the experience of each one of, you know, the cutscenes and the quests and everything like that. And that's where like the important parts of the game, and that's where like the important parts of like the really enjoyable parts of the game come in. It's just, I don't know, I would almost just rather have it than once again to be just completely linear.
That's too heavily guarded. Get back there just to be sure.
Because otherwise, as you've seen, it's like if you're playing the game in this way, we're kind of like jumping from cutscene to cutscene.
Yeah.
He tries for the palace.
Also, I had to kill a bunch of chained up robots, which was kind of weird. Why did the game make me do that? Like that seemed. I know they're robots, but even then that seemed exceptionally cruel.
Yeah. Well, can the robots?
They said, "Hey, kill all the machines and the humans."
Can the robots feel pain?
Just a bit of blaze in them.
Yeah, Gaia's pretty intelligent. Maybe she also, through her own intelligent design, created them to be able to have emotions.
Because I mean, obviously, animals can feel pain, and so I mean, it would make sense that
they're robo animals and dinosaurs.
Yeah. I mean, and of course.
So the answer is Aloy is history's greatest monster. All right, there we go.
Yeah. And I don't want to get into
the mystery of the game has been solved.
I've been watching a lot of Star Trek, so I don't want to get into that ridiculous thing where it's like, oh, well, you're just a hologram or you're just a robot. So can you really feel pain? Well, it's real to me. Okay.
And the answer is no. Data got his arm ripped off like all the time.
Yeah.
But there's a really great episode of that called "The Measure of a Man" in Star Trek Next Generation.
Oh my god, is that the one where Riker forced to like defend, like he's forced to prosecute Data?
Yeah, basically where he goes on trial to figure out if he is a machine that is in the ownership of the Federation.
And Riker, the first mate, what is his name?
Jonathan Frakes.
Yes, Jonathan Frakes. Is forced to. He's like, it's weird because like they basically deputize him as the defense or the prosecuting lawyer. He has to defend, or he has to prove that Data is not a human, and if he doesn't, then it will be like a default judgment. So he gets like really into it, and I thought that was delightfully stupid and ridiculous. Like,
it is super ridiculous, but it is also one of those really fun standard sci-fi plots.
Yeah, and I mean the reason it's a good episode is because like they go into all these monologues and stuff. Like they just like it's almost shit.
It's a standard sci-fi plot for good reason. I mean, it's not even like the only. I mean, I've done that multiple times on the channel in the various games that I played.
Like, do they really feel pain or something, or what do you mean?
Oh yeah, I don't want to spoil it because it is a big spoiler for the game, but I have talked about one of them earlier in this episode.
Oh, okay.
But yeah. And I mean, the game came down on one side pretty clearly from the very beginning.
Yeah.
But so, not like there was too much debate, but at the same time, whatever. That's fine. They still got the lines in there anyway. Still got the thought experiments, which I enjoyed. Anyway, you should really clean out the mushrooms from your cistern. Well, aqueduct. Also, not let Aloy or anybody else. Also, should get rid of the dead guys in there too as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Meridia's not going to be having a good next couple weeks.
Yeah. No.
Anyway, there's Dervahl. He's the evil guy. Not the evil guy of the game. That's in the next episode. Well, that's Hades. I mean, we know this already.
You robbed me of my right to kill your father, so I'll have to settle for you.
They invented
I'm going
earplugs.
to enjoy watching the Carja burn.
And like pretty good earplugs too.
You'll be watching with me. Say goodbye to Meridian Avad. Breathe in the stench and choke on the ashes.
Also supervillain plots.
Something's wrong. It didn't. I didn't hear anything.
There's a bit of smoke rising
You're
from
wearing
the base of the-
earplugs.
No, it should be a
Well, actually, it's very like
firestorm, not
specific
some filth from a
earplugs
charcoal
because
burner.
those are not like. I don't even look. This is some super science, which on the level that I wouldn't think that people in the Horizon would have.
I feel like earplugs are not incredibly advanced as technology. I mean, they're just like, you know, you just need something.
At the same time, it completely nullified, you know, something that would normally leave a normal person floored.
Yeah, yeah. I guess that, I mean, well, it is one of those things where if you discover, like, I don't know, you, like, break the vacuum seal or whatever of your ear. I don't know how that works exactly.
But they could also, they could also, like, hear each other talk as well.
Well, remember, even, like, the ancient Greeks, like, in the Odyssey, when, you know, the siren thing.
Okay, he also set up a big robot head to shoot this thing at all points in time. There, is that what you want to hear?
I'm gonna splatter that throne with blood. First,
If you're not convinced here. It's not a normal thing. But like, it is more or less normal? I don't know.
Incoming!
Oh,
Ow.
wow. That looks like that hurt.
Yeah, not as much as you might think.
Like, I mean, even though you're over leveled for this quest, it's like still, like, it does just, like, stun you in your tracks.
Now, I did just run directly towards Dervahl and get shot in my chest, so... Or actually, I don't know if that was Dervahl or not. I think it was. I can't tell. No, I think that was Dervahl. He's, like, still moving around.
Okay.
Well, hey, at least we get some good, oh, wow.
That was abrupt.
Stabbed the cutscene right out of him.
any good Oseram Tinker will tell you.
Oh, yeah, we get some good usage of the new spear here as well. It's fun. Like I said, I mean, it does shock damage, but doesn't, like, not that much shock damage. Usually kill things before I even get the thing on him. Gasp! He's got his own override.
Who, me?
Makes me feel a lot less special, but fine.
Never do the work if you
Oh
can
god,
get
we gotta
paid.
fight flying enemies.
I gotta say,
Let's do it.
this is kind of a cool and ridiculous, like, phase to this boss. Just, okay, you gotta fight some robot birds.
Well, there's not like there's a whole lot of bosses in the game.
Oh, yeah,
You
yeah.
get like the Deathbringers, and that's I guess the closest thing would have been like the corrupted Behemoth and the corrupted Thunderjaw that we saw earlier. Oh, there was also the Thunderbird, but I ignored that one and ran past it.
Now, I wonder how many of these are, like, these side quests actually end like this, because this seems pretty satisfying as a side quest. I mean, it's not a side quest, but, you know.
You saw how that other side quest ended, I suppose, the Nora
That
one.
was pretty disappointing, but, oh, no, I'm sorry, I was thinking of the one we did on stream, never mind. The Nora one was alright.
Was it?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Do you even remember it?
No, I don't remember it, and I shouldn't.
Okay, I knew it. I knew it. Because I was just about to ask you. It's just like, I want you to explain what happened in the Nora side quest.
There was like a Deathbringer, and then
There was not.
there wasn't. Okay, so then I don't really remember. I just remember walking.
That was the one where I killed like 36 cultists on that one cliff before I
You realized
realized
you
that I
were
just had to
supposed to
shoot
blow
the
it up.
warehouse
Yeah, yeah.
full of exploding barrels.
Yeah, that was surprisingly easy. Like, that was surprisingly watchable. I gotta say, when you were just like killing, you know.
No, it was actually very satisfying to see,
Yeah.
but it's like, yeah, that's not what you're supposed to do. They just spawn infinitely,
Yeah.
except I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, it's like the Battle of Thermopylae that, like, they could, the Spartans
Well,
could.
speaking of like interesting, look at this lighting here.
Oh yeah, that's neat.
Neat. Yeah, I didn't even notice this. I was too busy shooting crows. But
now, is that just the day-night cycle? Like there's...
I think it is.
Okay.
Needless to say, the way I play the game, it usually takes a long time to do anything. Oh boy. Look, I think that people are over trying to expect this to be a good series.
Yeah.
Even in just like casual, what would you call it? Podcasty style.
Yeah, no, this is not our finest moment.
Whatever. As always, I was contracted to do a series, and I'm gonna do it. What did I get out of the contract? Nothing. A person watched my stream for like 5 hours. Which, to be fair, I appreciate a lot, but still. Is it worth nah.
Well, you gotta have some kind of filter in terms of how you choose these games. I don't know exactly.
Well, I'll tell you right now. 100% banned from any future consideration for games on the channel is going to be anything from the Megami Tensei series.
Well, I mean...
But, that's aside from anything else.
So, not even the ones that you liked?
Not even the ones I like.
Oh.
I don't want to go back to those ones.
Yeah, no.
Well, I mean, to be fair, it's like, I think, like, going back to the Super Nintendo Shin Megami Tensei probably okay, but
I'm not afraid.
Still.
Except that knowing you, Aaron, you'll screw it up.
Like, I don't want to play Persona 3 or 4 again. I saw somebody playing Persona 4 on stream, a streamer I like, and I'm just like, I think I'm gonna skip it.
Yep.
Normally I would want to watch a stream, but I'm just like, nah. And then I watch it for like 5 minutes, and I'm just watching her skip through all the dialogue, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Okay.
It's just like, all right, okay. Let's get into the TV world. Bonk. You can't just knock somebody out like that.
Yeah.
You might as well have just killed him anyway, especially with the level of medical technology that exists in this world.
Yeah. It's kind of like you almost have to invent something like the Vulcan death grip or something. Just a random...
At least that has more justification.
Yeah. At least it's like, okay, it's sci-fi, it's the future, and there's very strong.
Yeah, it's
I need a moment.
It's dumb, but it's suspension of disbelief. Dumb.
Yeah, it's plot convenience, or set the phasers to stun, and somehow that never kills anyone, even the weak and infirm.
Aloy.
Yeah, I do. I love that.
Yeah,
it's just like Gene Roddenberry was just like,
yeah.
This is a great idea.
Yeah, it's a utopian invention that doesn't... It's an actual non-lethal.
That is a 100% non-lethal way to stun people.
Like, if you're going to die and you get shot with a phaser and stun, you'll be fine. You'll actually recover.
You'll actually be better.
You'll recover to unconsciousness and eventually make a full recovery.
But I mean, hey, it is supposed to be Wagon Train to the Stars in a completely idealistic utopian universe.
Yeah, which is why Deep Space Nine was such a good show, by the way, because it totally it's just like the most horrifying.
Yeah, but you won't. Because
it's a dark mirror.
What if the Federation has to actually go to war and there is no choice about it?
Yeah, and it's like billions die just utterly. Planets are wiped out.
And yeah, it's like there's no negotiation. There's no welcoming him into the warm, the moist folds of the Federation.
Yeah, no.
War is the only option.
Now I see that I was just lucky.
They literally have entire races under their control that are built merely to fight.
Yeah.
It's not even like the Klingon.
They're literally genetically engineered. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. I am really happy with watching that.
Or similarly, the Borg, comparatively.
Yeah.
There's good reason why it's such a classic series. Why is this the Star Trek cast?
Yeah. Have you seen Babylon 5? I've not, and
I have not seen. Well, I have. I mean, I was like a small child at the time.
Yeah.
I did not get it.
Okay. I'm kind of curious because apparently they're like the same basic concept.
That same sort of style of stuff. Anyway, hey, yo, we gotta stop the apocalypse. Fucking help me out with this one. Do me a solid, dude.
Oh, yeah.
You saved Meridian. And because of you, there will be justice for Earthsburg.
Cool. Apocalypse reapproaching.
Okay.
Again.
Okay.
It's hard to imagine where we'd be without you.
Avad, stop.
Yes, thank you, Aloy. Should have stopped him earlier than that,
like,
even.
Let's get to this.
No, shut the fuck up.
Let's get to this apocalypse thing.
I want you to stay in Meridian.
I want you to stay in Meridian and not address this apocalypse.
Well, to start
I mean, okay, to be fair, it's like, I don't want to go back to fucking Nora.
Yeah.
You're strong, shrewd, capable.
Fuck those guys.
I could use someone like you at my side.
Sure, great. So, man.
Thank you.
But, no, Aloy, just take this one. It's like, this is, you gotta, look, the apocalypse is not gonna last forever. You gotta think about your future.
That is true, yeah. Like, she's a strong, capable.
I mean, presumably. I don't know. For all I know, when Gaia gets rebuilt, she's just going to build Aloy a super mansion or something like that. But until that point...
You had something urgent to discuss?
I like that.
There's supposed to be a sequel coming out later the year, and I'm interested in what the plot is going to be, to be honest.
I do like that there's like this, like... but by the way, now that we've had this long discussion about your future, you had something urgent you wanted to discuss?
The Sun King tells me that you
Right.
And here's Murad just coming up and like, oh my fucking god, dude.
Helis commands a legion of fanatics called the Eclipse. They will attack.
Look, just let me say, there.
Machines. But that's not
It's like, oh yeah, did you think that like the big explosion was going to be the worst thing to happen to your city in quite a while? Well, let me tell you what's coming up here.
Now, so supposing you had done the side quest in the proper order, like if you'd done this one, how would this have gone? Do you know? Like, do you have any idea?
I got no idea.
It feels very confusing. Like I probably would have just gone back to Meridia or something.
Yeah, and just like been like, yo.
Hey,
and he would have been like, oh, thanks so much for your help with Ezra. And I'd be like, shut up.
Meridian isn't the target of Odd.
Like, shut up. Meridia's about to be destroyed, and for real this time.
Yeah.
Yes. Send them to the Spire. Aaron
We
knows
shall
Aloy.
slay it.
He won't question it.
I also thought that, and I hit.
I don't know. It's like, how often do you hear the word Spire?
Yeah, the Spire.
Where the Spire rests.
All right. So, basically, next time, we are going to be, well, actually finishing up the game. This is kind of like the end of the game now.
This is the penultimate episode. This is the penultimate.
This is the penultimate episode, one very long side quest.